That's why I believe, and that's kind of my concrete evidence. It's like I have 67 episodes telling stories about Reiki energy and mediumship. And think of all the other stories you can listen to. It's just like so much. And would we all be like feeling and experiencing these things and it not be real? I just don't think so. Welcome to the Medium in the Middle podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, the Medium in the Middle. On this podcast, I share my journey as a developing psychic medium, as a Reiki master teacher, as an Akashic record practitioner, and anything else that's thrown my way. Join me every week. I release new episodes every Tuesday. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Medium in the Middle podcast. If you are new here, welcome. Happy to have you join us. My name is Stephanie. I am the Medium in the Middle. And I'm excited for this week's episode. I know I say that every single week, but I'm always excited to bring new and exciting content for you guys. And I always know it's time for a Q&A when my DMs on Instagram are blowing up with questions. So I'm really excited to get into it today because I got a lot of questions and I find them really interesting. So I'm excited to share my opinion with you and just my view and my take on the questions. Before we jump into this week's episode, I do have two exciting announcements. Reiki Level 1 course is sold out in February. It definitely moved quickly. There will be more Reiki courses coming in April and May. So there'll be a Level 1 and a Level 2 coming up. If you are a Reiki Level 1 student looking to go a little bit further with Reiki, Level 2 is coming for you. There is a short pause in Reiki trainings because my mediumship development is going to be launching at the beginning of February and starting in March. So that will be taking up a lot of my time. So I need to pause on the courses because I can't do it all. I can't be in two places at once, but I'm excited to be offering this for you guys. It's going to be an 8-week course starting in March. Every other week is going to be a lecture. Every odd week is going to be questions and connections. So if you are developing your intuition, if you are at the beginning of your journey, if you're not knowing where to turn or where to look and you're looking for some guidance, this is the group for you. This is where you need to be. We will have support. We will answer your questions, and I will share all the wisdom that I have learned over the years that I wish someone told me in year one, because it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of heartache and a lot of feeling like I was alone and the only person going through my awakening when there's other people going through it too. So more information to come. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook to stay connected at Medium in the Middle, or my website, themediuminthemiddle.com, will always have all the updates. Another exciting thing that I wanted to share with you guys is I'm taking a Psych K course this weekend. I'm so excited to share this service with you guys. If you don't know what Psych K is, it's totally fine. I didn't know anything about it until November, just this past November. And I met someone at the Banff Wellness Retreat. Her name is Jocelyn, and she's an incredible Psych K facilitator. And I just was so drawn to it. So I'm really excited to be taking this course. If you want to know what Psych K is, just a very, very quick explanation of it is it allows you to quickly change your subconscious beliefs that are limiting the full expression of your potential in life as a spiritual being having a human experience. So I like to say that you can believe something, but if your subconscious doesn't believe, then there's a little block, there's something that's stopping you. So what Psych K does is it goes into your subconscious and we reprogram that, we change it, we bring it to light, we bring it to our awareness. So next week's podcast episode is going to be an interview that I did with Jocelyn. We talk about Psych K, and I'll have more information from my course to share with you, but I'm really excited to be launching this. I can't wait to offer Psych K sessions because, guys, it is life-changing when you can reprogram your subconscious, and I can't wait to tell different stories that have happened. So that will all be coming next week, and I'm really excited to share that with you. I pulled 2 cards for this week's card pull. I like to do a card pull just to ask the universe, what do we need to know right now? What's a little piece of information that could help us out? From Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle card deck. And I pulled the card Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Ooh, this is a nice one. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow your invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even knowing. Yes! Most people don't follow their highest call of their soul because they are waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe, trust your path, and let your soul lead the way. Oh, guys, this is a good card. Trust your path. Ooh, and I feel like I'm going to talk about this next week, but just the way that I came to even find this course that I'm taking, and it was an immediate yes when I saw it. When Jocelyn sent me the link, it was a yes. When I looked it up, it was a yes. I was even like talking to a friend and asking her about it, and I was like, I'm feeling a really big yes. And she was like, why are you asking me? It's a yes. So when we follow that, it's like we need to take those baby steps. So cool. And then the second card that I pulled is from the Colette Baron Reid Enchanted Map deck, the OG. You guys know I love this deck. I pulled card 32, Magic Prayer. And I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. Speak your prayers, listen for the answers, act in faith. When you see the Magic Prayer card, it is a reminder that your prayers will be answered. Spirit is always waiting to help you and to heal you when you're in need. That said, the best prayer is, Thy will be done through me, Thy will and not mine be done. Conscious contact with your higher power is achieved through the ritual of prayer and meditation. Speak and listen to the divine force within and field of creation. Surrender your wishes and desires to Spirit. You may not get what they want, but they will surely get what you need. Your destiny awaits you. As long as you keep in conscious contact with your higher power, be assured that you are on the right path. Ooh, I feel like this comes up a lot in Akashic Record readings. People are always wanting to know how to connect with their guides, how to go deeper, how to, connect. And I'm always like, go silent, go inwards, go silent, go inwards. This isn't fancy. This is you doing the work and you discovering it and you learning your own language. There's nothing outside of you that you need, but you need to invest the time in it. So I really like that card. That was nice. I hope one of those two cards resonated with you. If you want to actually see the cards, I always post them on my Instagram. That is what this week's card pull was. So I have a list of questions that I asked on Instagram, what you guys were thinking, what's going through your minds. And I like doing that because I usually get a mix and it's always fun. Mediumship, spirit, life, anything, what if questions. And it just gives me time to see what the listeners are kind of thinking about and what they would like to hear me answer based on my experience, based on just my opinion. So this isn't right or wrong if you think or feel differently, but just kind of what I think. So someone asked me about my website. I have a picture of me holding a feather, and she asked me what the feather was for. And this is actually a really cool story. So I use a feather in Reiki. So to clear you at the end, I kind of sweep the energy with a feather. A lot of different people will use feathers for clearing. So if I'm using a house or a room, you also push smoke with a feather. So if I'm trying to like push sage or any kind of smoke, you use the feather, and always pushing like away from you because you don't want to push it onto you. So anyways, so someone asked me this question in my DMs and I just answered them like that exact answer. And I was like, oh, I'm waiting for my eagle feather. Like your eagle feather has to find you. I know it's coming to me, but it hasn't been gifted to me yet. So you can't really go out and buy an eagle feather. You have to be given one, find one, anything like that. Usually someone else will gift you one. And it's funny because I asked my mentor last year, I was like, oh my God, I love your eagle feather. She's like, oh, you don't have one yet? And I was like, no. She's like, oh, you have one coming. And I was like, yeah, soon, but it's still like it didn't feel soon. So that was about a year ago. And through this conversation in my DMs, I was telling this woman about how I wanted an eagle feather, and she goes, "Oh, I have an extra one." And she had this beautiful story about how she tried to save a almost dying eagle on the side of the road, and she was like rushing it to the vet, and while she was taking it there, like the eagle died in her arms. So then she gave it like this beautiful burial service and did all these things, and then she kept a few feathers. She's like, "I hope that wasn't wrong." And I was like, "I absolutely don't think so. Like, you kind of tried to save it, and then in that case, it kind of gifted you something." So she said that she would mail me a feather. So this beautiful woman is mailing me a feather from the USA to Canada, which was a feat to get it to me. So I appreciate her. And it's like crazy, guys. Another manifestation story. Ask and you shall receive. What are the odds that a listener in the States is sending me an eagle feather? I have been receiving a few gifts from my listeners. I really appreciate you guys. You're so cute. So that was my little feather story, and I was really excited. But yes, I do use the feather that you see in my pictures that I took in my photo shoot. I use that to clear you at the end. So I kind of like sweep your energy, clear you. That's what I do when I do Reiki. This next question is a mediumship question, and I really enjoyed it because I feel like a lot of people find this question a lot and probably think about it. So this specific question was asking, in a mediumship reading, if dad or your loved one or whoever it is doesn't come through every time, does this mean that they don't have anything to say right now? And I really like this question because it's kind of two parts. So number one, it depends how often you're going to a medium. If you go really often, there's only so many things that, for example, dad can say that's relevant for you. So yes, he can say the same things over and over again, but that's really not helpful. Also, I want to say that if another spirit has something more important to say for that time, for what you're experiencing, for what you're going through, I'm just going to use an example. If mom and dad are passed, maybe mom needs to talk more on like what you're going through. Maybe you just got pregnant and like this is more of a mom time to talk. Then maybe dad will step back. So spirit will come through, in my experience, like when they have something to say and when it's relevant and helpful for you. So they won't just always show up because it's kind of like they can't really meddle in our human experience. They still have to let us live. So if you just went to a medium and every single time you could get dad, that's like a telephone line. So they'll come when they're needed, when they have something to say, when it's helpful, when it's useful. But yeah, exactly that. If they don't have anything to say or they don't have anything like helpful to what you're going through right now, then they'll stay silent. So I've had this happen before. It's like, like why didn't he say anything? Or why is he there but he didn't say anything? Sometimes it's spirits there but they don't say anything, just to let you know they're around, just to let you know they're with you, just to let you know like, hey, I'm here, but I don't have anything to say right now. And usually that fits their personality. It's like, oh yeah, dad didn't talk a lot. Well, he's not all of a sudden going to become a talker once he passes away and he's in the spirit. So that was a really interesting question. And I'm sure a lot of people think that, like, why can't we just get them all the time? Or why can't they come through all the time and even tell me the same thing? It's because it's always for your highest good, right? Like they want to help you. They want to support you. And if it's not going to be helpful and it's not going to be like supporting you in what you're experiencing, then they're not going to, I don't want to say waste their energy, but it is a lot of energy to come through. It's not easy work. Another question that I have was if I ever would use my mediumship abilities for missing people to see if they are alive and dead. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast before where I tried once, but I didn't want any of the information to be given to the family in case I was wrong. But there are mediums who do this specifically. I saw one girl on TikTok. She was super cool. She just puts out all the information that she gets and tries to figure it out. I know there are some people who do mediumship who work with the police department, but there's a fine line of how do you know that? Are you involved? And believing and knowing that this information is being given from spirit. So yeah, it makes sense that spirit could come through and be like, hey, John Doe killed me and this is where my body is and this is la la la. But I think that, yeah, human experience and spirit meddling is a very hard dance. So I feel like we're not given that information so clearly because that's not our job, or all mediums could solve all murder mysteries. But I do know that there are a few people that do work specifically with police departments. And I watched a show on it once. It was very interesting. Someone asked if I would ever be interested in that. And I don't think so. It's just too high risk. If I'm interpreting the message wrong, if I'm there's a difference between hey, grandma, I'm seeing grandma's making a raisin pie. Oh no, she used to make raisin muffins. Oh, okay. And that's a little mix up when you're trying to interpret what spirit is saying. But when you're dealing with big picture, you're trying to figure out what happened. That is just not something that I would personally be comfortable with. I like to be comfortable in my jobs, and that would make me really uncomfortable. But as a completely aside, I've always wanted to be involved in like crime solving or involved with the police. And that's probably like the Capricorn in me that loves rules and regulations. I'm like, yes, I'm going to enforce the rules. So I have a few other questions that I want to go through, but I do want to tell you guys about the January meeting in the middle. So it is January 28th from 6 to 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we are talking about how to manifest this month. I'm so excited. So many manifesting stories have been happening over the past few months for me. I've been sharing them all on Instagram. You guys have been freaking out and loving them. So I was like, duh, of course this meeting in the middle development circle this month needs to be about this, especially for January, the fresh start, like new year, like let's get into it, especially after I go do Psych K. I'm going to have so much good little nuggets of information to share with you. So if you're interested, January 28th, 6 to 7 p.m. It's only $11 Canadian, but it's a nice way to join in circle and learn something. Meetings in the middle are my development circles that I do once a month to share on a topic that I'm really passionate about or something that I feel like the collective needs or people are asking about. So this month is how to manifest. Super fun. If you're interested in joining, the link to join the meeting in the middle will be in the show notes. So this was another great question. Do you, as the student, need to prepare for Reiki classes? Example, do you have to smudge or clear the space? I think this is a great question. So whatever you need to do to clear your space on your end is recommended. So if you already do kind of burn something to clear the space, you definitely can. It's not necessary, like you don't have to go out and buy anything to clear your space, but it's nice to have a space that's cleared and ready and dedicated to your study. We do dive pretty deep, but we're also like holding and creating space and energy. So depending on what course you're taking, in level 2, we actually clear the room that you're in. I teach you how to clear the room. I teach you how to clear your crystals. I teach you how to do different things like that. So that's also like bringing the vibe and bringing the energy, but you can do any of those things, definitely not necessary. I get a lot of questions about how to prepare for a Reiki course. I don't have any pre-readings required. The only thing is within 24 hours, there's no drugs or alcohol that can be in your body. It's because of the attunements, you need to be sober. But I always say when you take a Reiki course, what you're interested in learning about, what you're interested in reading about, what you're interested in knowing more about will come to you. So after you take the course, after you have this knowledge, after you're more aware, you might be like, wow, I'm really into meridians. I want to read a book about meridians. Or maybe you want to know all about Reiki history, so you want to get a book on Reiki history. Maybe you want to know more about the chakras, so you learn about the chakras. So that's when I would recommend more books to be like, okay, what is like pulling your attention from this week that you want to learn more about? Go and read about that. The next question is another Reiki question. Have you done Reiki on animals, and what is that experience like? So I have done Reiki on animals. I had a friend whose doggy was dying of cancer, and I just Reiki'd him to try to make him feel better. But you can Reiki animals. So in the same way that you can Reiki a human, you can Reiki animals. It makes them feel good. Their chakra system is different than the human chakra system. So ours kind of go down in a line down our spine. I know that dogs are almost like a crisscross. You can Google it and see if you're interested, but you can. I had a student actually whose dog, she was taking them to the vet for whatever the illness was. Usually he's on pain meds for like a week. And she said she Reiki'd him all the way to the vet. And after 3 days, he was like back to normal, back to his normal self. So that was really cool. So yes, if you have pets, you can Reiki them. Pets also love Reiki. We just did a level 2 this weekend, and a lot of people had pets. And when they were practicing with whoever they lived with, a lot of the animals were like jumping up on them or sitting beside them, or cats will like come and sit on your belly or your face. And animals love Reiki. They love the energy, same as children. So it's very normal for like children to be drawn to you. Pets to come sit on your lap while you're giving Reiki or receiving Reiki. So that's really cool. It's like they also like the energy as well. Next question. What style or type of Reiki do I do? I just got certified in Holy Fire. Very cool. So I actually don't know much about Holy Fire. I had one student who redid her Reiki with me, and she had done Holy Fire. And we discussed briefly about what the differences were. And she said that there's not a ton of difference, but I teach Usui Reiki. So I teach Usui Reiki. It is the original Reiki from Japan. We kind of teach it from way back in the basics when it started over 120 years ago. But that is the type of Reiki that I teach. I don't know much about holy fire. And to be honest, I'm not very drawn to it or called to it. And I think it's the name. No offense to anyone who has done holy fire. If it was what called your name, that's where you're meant to go. But it just, I don't know, for me, it's not calling my name. So I've never even looked into it. But I teach Usui Reiki. Next question. How do you explain mediumship to children? Ooh, this is a great question. I guess we would say, how old is the child? But let's just blanket children to be like, say anyone under 10. How do we explain any mediumship to young people? So I would kind of explain to them first about your soul and your spirit. So kind of be like, who are you? And it's like, okay, I'm Stephanie. It's like, okay, well, who is Stephanie? Well, I'm me. I'm your daughter. I'm this, I'm that. Okay, well, who is that person? Like, it's like, okay, well, let's like get deep into like who you are outside of like your body and your connections. And then say, when your body stops living, your spirit is still around. So I guess this also believes in what your views are of what happens after death. Like if you don't believe in mediumship, I don't think you would have this conversation. But I would try to explain it to them that your spirit and your body are almost like two separate entities, and your spirit doesn't need your body. So even when your body stops working, it's like your spirit still lives. So you're able to still experience things, you're able to be around. And then there's some people who are really good at talking to those spirits who don't have bodies. Like something like that where it's not scary for them, but it's just like you don't just die as soon as your body stops working. There is still more after this, and I'm sure there's more that we don't know about, and there's so much we can discover. But just letting them know that if they are interested, like, how do they know that? In the same way that I explain it to like my grandma who doesn't really know. It's like everything is energy. Energy doesn't die, it just changes form. So that's a really good question, though. I would say, like, how far do you want to go with that? But I would explain it first as you are a body and you are a spirit, and like kind of explain like who you are, and maybe get into that kind of spirit talk first, and then it'll be easier to explain mediumship. But I feel like kids just get it. They don't question things, It's just like kids are the ones with imaginary friends. Kids are the ones who have thin veils. Kids are the ones who are connected. Kids are the ones who will tell you about grandpa who died before they were even born. So I feel like they just get it, and we probably don't even need to explain this all to them. But if they were asking, I think explaining spirit and soul versus your body is probably like a good way to start. I also don't have any children. I don't know if that's a good answer or not, but that's what I would say. Ooh, this is a good question. So this is a mediumship question. Why are some spirits able to come through better than others? Okay, I want to approach this in two different ways. So let's say that you got multiple spirits on the same day. Let's just say, for our example, you went to a medium and 3 spirits came through, but spirit 1 and 2 came through way more stronger than spirit 3. So why does that happen? In my opinion, I think it happens because you needed to hear more from spirit 1 and 2 than 3. It also takes a lot of energy to communicate with us and to communicate through a medium, and for the medium to understand the information and then deliver the information to you. Like, this is a long line of telephone, right? It's like spirit to medium, medium to you to interpreting it. So messages could get lost in translation, number 1. Number 2, I think it's what you need the most at the right time. So I would say, why do they not all come through clearly? It's because you need different messages at different times. And some spirits, like, it does take a lot of energy. So I know I have a harder time getting messages from spirits who just passed away, like within 3 months. I almost feel like it's like a blurry connection with the phone. But when I talk to a medium named Bree, she says that she has no problem. So then I was thinking, like, is this in my own head? Like, did I just make this up, that they like need time to figure out how to be dead and to understand where they are and their soul review and everything that happens? So we talk more about on that episode. It will be coming up. I'm really excited to share it with you. I had a great chat with a medium named Bree. If you don't know who she is, follow her on Instagram. So cool. Love her vibe. But she had a lot of good insight on this, and it was a different perspective from mine. So it was really interesting to talk about. But why? I would say that's the reason why, because the message that you need the most is going to come through the clearest. So that's what's going to happen. The next question. As a medium, how do you know concretely there is an afterlife? I mean, I believe because I want to. Okay, great question. So how do I know that there's an afterlife. I guess the reason that I believe is because I can communicate with souls, and because I've had so many experiences where I know that there's just no way that I could know this information without someone telling me. And the way that someone is telling me is through spirit and through energy, because they still exist without a body. And it's happened to me so many times over the last 3 years. I'm like, I just have to believe this. Even if I wasn't a medium, I just think that there's a lot of synchronicities that happen in life. There's a lot of ways that spirit gives us messages. There's a lot of like things that happen in life that maybe should or shouldn't. You know, when people get into like a crazy accident and they just walk away from it without a scratch, there's something divine there. There's something more. And yeah, like you can definitely choose to believe or not to believe, and that's your prerogative. But I believe because I think I've been shown enough evidence over and over and over again that I have to believe. That I have to believe there's something more. What is it exactly? I don't know. And I feel like there's lots of different theories and analogies, and I do resonate with some of them where I'm like, that one makes sense. But do we know for sure? No, of course. I don't think it's their job to tell us what to come next, but I think it is their job to let us know that like it's not all physical. As soon as we leave this body, it's not like lights out, game over, that's it. It's like, no, you're just like collecting $100 and going around again, but now you have a different vehicle. Now you have a different way to do it. So that's why I believe. I've been giving a lot of evidence, and yeah, you want to believe, of course. And I've just been shown time and time again that people are still here. Spirits are still here, even without their physical form. I mean, I talk about the ghost in my house on my Instagram. That one went away, but there's a new one. And this one is showing up in light. I usually don't get light, but it's like sparkling lights on my mirrors and my windows. So that one's really interesting. I don't know who it is, but they know they can't come in. So yeah, that's why I believe. And that's kind of my concrete evidence. It's like I have 67 episodes telling stories about Reiki energy and mediumship. And think of all the other stories you can listen to. It's just like so much. And would we all be like feeling and experiencing these things and it not be real? I just don't think so. And what really interested me was the near-death experiences, how so many different people came back and had the same type of experience. That just is unheard of to me. Like that can't be fake. They can't all be making up the same exact thing. They can't all have the exact same recollection unless they actually went to the same place. It's like, describe me a mall you've never been to. Well, you can't. But if we're all describing the exact same mall, but we all don't know each other, it's like, well, how have we all been there before? So it's like we've all gone somewhere. So that was really, really interesting for me. I know like the physical mediumship freaked a lot of people out, but for me it was the near-death experiences. And it was when these scientists were talking about these different experiences that really got me like, oh my gosh, like that has to be true. So that's what it is for me personally. Okay, and the last question I'm going to cover for today is, do I ever take out time to refuel? Days, weeks, a month? Do you need downtime? I'm assuming this is probably for like Reiki energy healing and mediumship work. And I'm probably the worst person to ask, but I don't do it specifically, but I find that I'm given it when I need it. So what do I mean by this? Perfect example. In December, I worked every day except for I think 5 days, like Christmas, New Year's, and I was like wiped. December was crazy for me. And then for the first 2 weeks of January, I had a really slow weeks. I didn't have a lot of appointments, and it was like the universe gifting me time. I needed that time to refuel, to start the new year, to get things going. Like so many things were going on at once, so many balls in the air. I needed that time. Would I ever have been like, hey, I should probably give myself a week off in January to get this all sorted? Never. But does the universe be like, hey, Steph, you need a break and you have a lot of things to get sorted. Here you go. Yes. And that's happened to me before. I find even with mediumship, I'll be super into it. And then all of a sudden I like don't want to do anything. I don't want to practice. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want spirit to come in through my Reiki sessions. And then I'll be into it. And like spirit's coming in every Reiki session and all of that. I don't ever really need a break from Reiki. I do it almost every single day, either online or in person. But that is just an amazing energy. I love sitting in that space. And you guys know I work a lot. I am trying to take 1 day off a week in 2021. So right now, Thursdays are my day off. But I love what I do, and I'm just happy to be working in this space all the time. So it never feels like I need time out. So I feel like I don't do this intentionally, but the universe gives it to me when like they know what I need more than I know what I need almost. So it's just how you look at things, right? Like I could have looked at those 2 weeks of January and been like, oh my God, I have no appointments. But I was like, nope, this is a gift. Nope, this is a reminder. Like this is for me to slow down and get things done. Like I have lists and lists and lists of to-dos, and that was time for me to get that all done. So it was a gift. But I would say if you are an energy worker and you are thinking like you need time off, take what you need, listen to your body. You know, if you need a pause, take a pause. Nothing is going to like disappear as much as we think that, you know, I'm always like, oh, if I don't do a mediumship reading every day, like I'm not going to be able to connect to spirit anymore. We all know that's not true, but we think it in our head. So just like here to remind you that that won't happen if you take time off. Your cup is the most important cup. You can't fill other people's cups if your cup is not full. What do you need? You know, like everything in my life revolves around the gym because I was like, if I don't do this for myself, I'm going to be miserable. So just know, like, what is that for you? Do you need a weekend off? Do you need, you know, a little mini vacation every once in a while? Do you need time without the kids? Like, what is it for you? And honor that. Honor that like it's the law. Like the law. I do not do anything between noon and 1 o'clock. I don't care if Brad Pitt asked me on a date at noon on a Tuesday. I'd be like, no, Brad Pitt, sorry. On Tuesdays, I release the podcast episode and then I go to the gym. Like, no, there's nothing that could stop me from missing the gym because it would just throw off my whole day. So if that's your case, like just be mindful of what you need because filling up your cup is number one and you need to treat that like law, like it is law. Like if you do not take care of yourself, you will be charged or you will go to jail. Like something, you know, it is that important. It is. Your self-care is that important. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. I usually every few months like to throw in a Q&A. So I'll usually post on Instagram like a little question box. If you are interested in distance Reiki sessions with me or Akashic Record readings or soon Psych K sessions, it's all on my website, themediuminthemiddle.com. It's also linked down in the show notes. In-person Reiki, I am very happy to announce, is back. So my Banff studio is open again. I'm very, very happy we are back to in-person. So if you're in Banff, the surrounding areas, Calgary, if you can come here, one-on-one services is back. The link for that is also on my website. So thank you for listening. Thank you for getting this far. If you are an iTunes user, I would love and appreciate a rating and a review. It really helps me out in the podcast world, helps the podcast grow. And this year for 2021, I have big plans for this podcast. So I just want to see it bloom like a flower. And I'm so excited for what's to come. If you have not already, please subscribe and I will pop up in your library every Tuesday when a new episode is released. Thank you all for listening. See you in your ears next week where I will be talking with Jocelyn all about Psych K. Really excited to share this with you. And we had a really good conversation. So if you're not aware about Psych K, emotion code, body code, you want to tune in and hear this episode. But that'll be next week. And I will see you guys on the gram in between. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.